Hello everyone, this is Hades here. So I'm just looking into yesterday's video and seeing what went wrong and what we could have done better as a team and so on. So okay, so this is our first and foremost. What I wanted to say is this is our first CBL match, so let's not get stressed about it too much because end of the day we are here to have a learning experience for everyone. Not all of us have been in CBL before or been in competitive environment before. So it's just a learning experience. We go in and see what enemy does and learn from them better. So we should always take it as a learning experience rather than getting unhappy with ourselves. If we don't look at our mistakes, we cannot grow. So please consider this as a learning experience rather than a negative or finding fault with someone or something like that. Everyone does mistakes. All of us does mistakes. Without mistakes, we cannot. It's not possible, and it's just that we need to avoid the mistakes every step we move forward. So regarding the import unit composition, you can see this. It was not my video. It is a video from the developer, or I think some streamer. So this guy is streaming the video and showing uh, the composition. As you can see, first thing, let's talk about the units itself. Some of our players didn't have maxed units because we are in a situation where we had to bring 15 players minimum. For them it's like having 30 to 40 players the enemy, and they can easily bring 15 players without a problem because they are Chinese now. Chinese can easily bring 30 more than and many people. But I was getting 15 itself is hard for this thing. So that is one problem. And sometimes you have to even include people who are not having fully maxed units as well, like which can make a difference. So some of our units were not fully maxed, which is not a good thing. As you can see, this photo brush level 15, this vessel long movement, I think it's maxed, right? That's maxed. And this kind of effects were not maxed out as. So bringing units which are not maxed itself is a bad thing. And second thing is we had to one of our player left the last moment yesterday, so we need to make an arrangement to bring one person who is not ready for the CBL just like the last minute to join the CBL. So which is very difficult for that person and for also everyone, since he was not ready. And some of us had like really new units, like for example uh, this unit was like level 12, level 9, and this was level, I think something around level 13 or 8, something like that. So, but I'm not saying that it is the fault of the player or anything like that, because one player, it happened, what to say, incidentally. It happened at the last moment where we had to, one person was missing and we had to push in one more player to the point where the player doesn't have any units, but still, like at least we have to make it a 15 versus 15. So we had to push in a player without a proper unit. So those kind of things had happened. So end of the day, it was not an equal fight by any means, both in terms of units and in terms of skill and experience, in terms of planning and everything. But the idea behind this battle itself is mainly to have an idea of how competitive environments works to our player, to show how the competitive environment works to our players. And that means that we can also improve ourselves by playing with higher and experienced competitive players. That's what I'm trying to say. And unit really matters, because when you are fighting a level fully maxed unit against a low level unit, we are going to actually have a big big weakness, or what is a big disadvantage. So unit really matters a big deal. Some of our units were not maxed. Some of our units were like even off like level 8 or something like that. Not all of them, some of them. It was based because of the last minute situation. We had to do some changes, and also because of our less numbers overall, like the amount of people we have, because Chinese people, it's a Chinese game, so the amount of people who can join the thing itself is more now. So, and we are also doing it for the first time, so the amount of support we got was really low. So we are trying to get this increase the support overall, and that is one thing. And people who really bought fully maxed units, they should be appreciated as well. Like people who bought very meta and maxed out units, everyone which who bought maxed out units, appreciable. And I would say, uh, yeah, overall it's better. But from their composition, we can see that photo brushes are really valued much. We are not valuing photo brushes that much. I would say we still bought 1, 2, 3, 4 photo brushes, but they bought so many photo brushes. The amount of photo brushes they have is crazy. Everyone pretty much had photo brushes. So that is something we should learn from them. We should bring more photo brushes. And regarding Madao, yeah, maybe 1 or 2 Madao is fine, but 3 Madaos, actually they also bought so many Madaos, I suppose. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 Madaos decent. I think similarly adds similar Madaos. At 6 Madaos, I suppose. Not a big deal with Madaos itself. So let's see what happened. Regarding the composition, yeah. This is what I think some of our units are, of course, not maxed out. You can see. Yeah, level 25 cataphracts. Level 15 photo brushes. So in this game, it's all about good units. If you have really good units with good doctrines equipped, you can easily have an advantage over the enemy unit. What I mean by that is, it's like a basic thing. It's like very basic. The first thing you need to play against the enemy. So if you have maxed level 30 maxed unit and level 30 unit with very good doctrines, your weapon will, your unit will do more damage against the enemy unit. So you will easily win. Your unit will be able to sustain more damage against the enemy unit. So you will be, what to say, you will be providing more to the entire team. So that is what I would suggest first to get. It's like a basic to get. Let's worry about strategy and planning next. But this is what we should first work on, getting the units maxed out. So which we didn't do. It's understandable though, because we didn't have that. But we wanted to try it out how CPL works. Just an idea. Okay, let's move on to the next phase. Okay, composition wise, yeah, I understand that we could have added more light armor and medium armor, but I just wanted to uh, make it simple for everyone. It's not like our players cannot play light armor or medium armor, but I just wanted to reduce the difficulty we are facing when we are against high tier opponents, like who can use artillery efficiently and experienced in using artillery. Because if you are fully medium armor, the amount of damage you can take is relatively low, so you will get easily killed in a lot of situations. Of course, you're going to get killed unless you know how to push in very well. It's going to be difficult, especially against artillery fire and so on. So that is why, that is the thought process behind asking everyone to bring heavy armor. Yeah, people will complain surely why everyone went heavy armor. But it's a choice we made because of that reason only. And next thing, let me see the game itself. Okay, at the start of the battle, we started 13 year, 2 year. This was the only plan actually we made properly. Like going to the supply and pushing the plan. And to be honest, it's very easy though, because we don't expect enemy to defend this region much. So I think it was very easy to defend for us. I mean, push for us. So it was a relatively easy push. And let's see. Nice way. Our photo brushes are holding the flanks. Unless did manage to put his photo brushes behind, which is a good thing. And the shield over here, I think, is protecting the flank, but I don't think it is really necessary though. Like, what is the shield doing over here? It's okay though, but I don't think this shield is necessary over here, because what's the purpose of this shield? Maybe they'll shoot for the attention from here, even though it's not gonna protect the photo branches, I suppose. So because it's a blue shield, so it's not gonna have a line formation, but only as a shield run formation. So the way we push supply is good, but another day it's a less number of people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against what? 13 minus, okay, against 10 people. 10 here, 3 here. So it should be 10. 10 versus 5. So you should be able to win without a problem. Doesn't matter what unit, yeah, of course, our unit is a big difference. But even without a unit difference, I think we could have easily won, because like it's a 10 versus 5. So we should be able to easily win. Like they are all not over here. Only 5 people are here. So it should be a really easy push for us. And let's see how we push. It's not much to complain, to be honest. We did a decent push, and it's a 10 versus 5. Nothing much you can explain. Nice Imperial Pike advance, Motto maintain, Imperial Shields, enemy died. So it's an easy push. Nothing much you can say. Okay, regarding the artillery itself, we did put a lot of artillery. This is not a bad thing by any means. We did put grape shots, war rockets, and we managed to push. Nice war rocket shooting. So rocket. So we did manage to take the supply very easily. So now let's go to the next phase, where we decided to go to the wall. So this was a plan made presumptively before the battle itself. Yeah, I understand that not Soba, Collector and Indrajit both said that we should have add the pressure and push this way. Yeah, it's a good idea, but we already had a plan to go to the wall, so we have to follow to the plan, right? So that is why we followed the plan. Because if we go away from the plan, people will get confused. And we already have a plan. If we go away from the plan, it's going to get people more confused and what to do. That is a problem. That is why we stick with the plan. And when we stick with the plan, we rotated. And why this plan was made in the first place is that we could bombard them with proper artillery from above the elevation, with the elevation advantage. But these guys were ready for it. Like this is a common strategy people use to bombard. So these people are already very ready for it. So they set up counter artillery very well, like really good counter artillery. And you can see this Korean guy also. Yeah, we could have pushed from behind, but it is one of our choice to have. We could have pushed from behind, but if we get engaged in the choke point, we can have trapped this area. It's a good area to trap. This is a good area to engage, and we could have had the fight over here. Not a bad idea by any means. But we decided to go here because it was the plan we made before, so we just stick to the plan. We don't want to create a confusion. And regarding the rotation itself, I think the rotation was the way we rotated first was good, but the second rotation is kind of a little bit slower, I would say, because some people are stuck over here, some people are coming, some people are still already over here. Little bit of a slower rotation in terms of rotation itself, and still 4 people are over here, which is not a good idea. As per the plan, not for 5 people are still in the supply lingering. I'm not sure why the lingering has to be. Maybe we will see behind and decide why we have to linger. I guess there is no reason to linger here, I suppose. We should have just followed the plan. Whatever the plan is, we made the plan, right? You have to follow the plan. It's as simple as that. If you wanted to say anything, or I wanted to make a different plan, it's better to like suggest the plan before it, like before the battle itself, we want to say anything. But once we decided the plan, we have to simply follow the plan. Okay, and now let's go for the phase of artillery setup. They haven't started setting up artillery yet, so we have the advantage of setting up artillery. So still now they haven't set up artillery. It's just that they are used to playing this map so many times. Like the relative experience we have in SG is way too low compared to the experience they have in JC. Because in JC, the territory wars are pretty much very competitive. Like they play this battle, this vital fort again and again and again and again to the point where they know everything pretty well. So let's see how they set up the artillery. Even now, still they haven't set up artillery. Now I think this guy broke this artillery. Okay, here's one more mistake I would say our teammate made. See, you set up artillery, but you set up artillery without a unit. Whenever you set up artillery, you should cover it with a unit. It's a very simple thing. If you have a shield line or photo pressure line set up, whatever, you put a units first and then set up an artillery. If you set up an artillery without any cover, any hero can come and destroy and just run away. So it's a bad thing to do. Simple mistake which you can change. This is the artillery you can set up because it has cover both sides. Left side it has cover, right side it has cover. So these things, right side doesn't. Right side from here they have to come all the way there, so they can come to this artillery. But what I mean by this artillery is you should set up a unit before setting up artillery. Where is a unit? Why did you put your artillery without a unit? That's the main problem. Okay, next, this artillery is good, but I don't think the war rocket can reach this angle. Does it have the enough range? This question. Let us see. And another motor over is also good, I suppose. Let's see the artillery. We actually lost the artillery engagement because we are not used to doing this before. So our players were not guided. That is one thing, because we didn't have the time to guide and everyone to do what and which. If we had the time, we could have done it. But these things we can try to improve day by day. It's not a thing which comes in a single day. It comes on slowly. It takes time to improve. We have to set up an artillery. So at least now we have an idea how they set up artillery when defending. You can see the artillery is positioning from their team where they set up. Uh, okay. So you can see they are setting up mortar over here. This is a mortar spot. Nice one. So it cannot be trapped by suppose. So even we try to trap, it cannot be trapped. So the moment we see a mortar, our priority is not to take units first. We need to take artillery first. Artillery is our first priority because this mortar is going to be a problem. Whichever team wins the artillery war, like before every battle, there is going to be a artillery war before every battle. The artillery war, it will actually decide the battle itself. Like it's the first phase of a battle. Before the actual units engage, there is artillery war which is gonna happen. Which means everyone, both sides will set up artillery at the same time, and whichever artillery is faster enough to kill the enemy artillery is gonna have an advantage. And why we lost the artillery war is because we were not experienced enough to kill their artillery faster enough than they could kill us. So let's see how they bombard us. See, they already have set up mortar here. Now they will set up a mortar over here. Two mortars, third mortar. Okay, now there is a war rocket coming up. Okay, so let's see. We are also starting to set up mortar. We kind of okay. This shield is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea for enemies. So let's see. We took more damage though because we are protecting the shields with the more units. I mean the artillery with the more units compared to them. They kind of spread out the artillery only, and they didn't cover the artillery with any units because they don't have a reason to. But our units are kind of in the open more, so I think we took more damage as well. End of the day, it's artillery versus artillery. So we can see how many artilleries we set up. Here's a war rocket. Here, I think was a cannon. It got destroyed. And I think there was a mortar over here, war rocket over here, which also got destroyed. Let's see one more time. This mortar is a nice mortar because it's very hard to destroy unless the enemy mortar angles it in a proper way. Similarly, one mortar could have been here as well. See the artillery over here got destroyed because it's too easy to enemy to see. Like at least that this artillery is kind of hidden. Like they have to shoot like in a angle, and eventually they will find this as artillery, and then they can take it out. But if you put it like this in exactly open, like everyone can see this artillery, this will get destroyed the moment it gets set up. I think it was Resgoda's artillery. And the war rocket here also got destroyed. I think this is a war rocket. Yeah, it got destroyed. It got destroyed because of the mother angle. I think from next time onwards, maybe we should have put all our units as a clump over here together, like behind this building. There's one crucial mistake. If we are gonna play this strategy, I would say we should have put all our units behind this building before we set up our artillery and bombard. Because at that time, if we are gonna lose something, it's just gonna be one artillery. And regarding the heroes itself, uh, if we are gonna set up artillery without units, we can have as like 2 or 3 heroes to protect our front line, like before setting artillery. That is also one thing. Even without units, like one shield wall maybe not a bad idea, but still it's like a unit last. So instead of units, we could have used heroes to protect our artillery from the front. Look at the amount of bombardment is actually very crazy. And they didn't commit war rockets yet. They only committed just blue mortars. Blue and some are purple mortars, I suppose. This is blue mortar. This one is purple. This one is blue. So they didn't commit much. Just blue mortars chilling and just shooting. 2 mortars over here. Another one mortar here. Okay, this was a trip shot, I suppose, but it didn't end up hitting. It got protect. It got stopped. Okay. Now one more war rocket got set up. I think it was me. The moment it got set up, it got destroyed. Like literally. So they already have the artillery advantage. They won the artillery war. Like they are the mortars on positions. 1, 2, 3, 4. This mortar made sure that enemy cannot set up artillery on the wall whatsoever. And even the units are dead. Like this shield unit died because it is a level 11 shield unit. Like it is a very low level shield unit. It could have sustained way too longer. It is a max unit with proper doctrines. So that is one reason. And these people playing this, they are having good units because, like, why they are having good units is mainly because what I mean by martial, because people get kind of annoyed when I say martial. Why martials are good and everything. Martials are good because they have got to martial because they have went to the difficulty of killing a lot of units and they have the experience. And if they want to become martial, it means they have to get minimum of 100 kills per game in ranked pattern. And if they're gonna do that, it means that they should have a good strong unit like which is maxed out, and they need to have a good experience about the game in general. Then only they can become a marshal. Not anyone can just become randomly marshal. So that is why if you make push yourself to marshal, it means that it almost guarantees that you will always have maxed units with good doctrines and good veterancy and good idea about the game and how to play the game in general. So that is what martial will teach you. You can still play siege battles. Siege battle is not like everything you can, but in rank you get to learn more. Anyways, speaking about the game itself, let's continue the back to the game. So we have an idea about how they broke the formations. and defended very well against our strategy, which is bombarding them with our own artillery. So I believe we should have an advantage over the enemy since it is a artillery engagement from the wall, but uh, they did know how to set up properly against our strategy. So they did have the advantage for sure. We planned a strategy and the strategy got countered very well by the enemy with the means of artillery. So we lost the artillery engage. Now the time is running short and we have to make a decision. The actual battle. We know that for sure if we engage this angle, we are gonna lose. But what other choice do we have? Because if we go and take a new unit or heal our unit and come back, it is gonna make a it is gonna take a long time for us to go and heal and come and rotate. It's gonna take a very long time. So we had to make a call, either go heal and come, which will make time because there is still a lot of fighting to go. 900 versus 1000. So that is the reason why we decided to go whatsoever, and we went in and yeah. But here's the thing: when we went in, it's not the same as we went in before because our units are kind of killed. A lot of units already dead. I can say it's a blood bloodbath. All of our units are already dead. Quite a lot of our units are already dead. So it's just we went in with whatever we had enough, a little bit. The one thing which we could have done to avoid all of this is by just simply putting our units behind this building, which no, I didn't mention and no one else mentioned, but it is something we just noticed now. So that's what I mean. Like this is a first CPL competitive match. There is always space to learn and grow. So it just depends on the player's mentality on how to take a battle. Like if you want to take it as a very disastrous thing and get angry about it, and then you are not gonna improve. If you take it in a simple way, just see that they are better than us for sure, and we learned something. Even end of the day, if you learn one or two things from the people who are better than us, it's good because we learned something, right? We're gonna improve. And when we face people who are equal now in our server, like okay, doing okay in terms of experience, then we will be surely having the experience which we learned from this type of players against the players in our server. So we should always tend to fight against these kind of people who are more experienced to learn from them. Okay, now they are actually set upping the war rocket because they read that we are starting to make a push. Now they actually mobilize their units, as you can see. When we made the short call to move, they can see the unit moving. And when they see our units and heroes making a movement, they also start making the movement. They also kind of start setting up the units forward. The units are slowly coming forward. Okay, I think now is okay. And now is when they set up the war rocket. When the main push came, that is when they set the war rocket. The war rocket, and it's a very narrow choke point, so they did defend very well. Nothing much we couldn't do. And another day we had to take a chance and go forward regardless of what. Because staying here itself is not going to help. So we had to make a push. We know this push is going to fail for sure because we don't have the troops to push this much big of a clump. So it's going to fail. But we had to make a move. That's why we moved it. And you can see that the they had flamethrowers, which are like doing a really good job when it comes to damage carry. So this is a very good choke point, and we are getting bombarded with the Zycalian militia in this angle. So that is also a very nice. The amount of artillery they're using is crazy as well. The amount of firepower. So they braced the braced units over here. They didn't use any shields, one shield I think, and remaining they use lots and lots of firepower, 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 firepower. Let's see the amount of firepower there. Firepower, 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 firepower. I think they didn't use his efforts, but they did set up a war racket, right? Somewhere. That is a war racket. One thing our players should do, focus more is we are trying to get the unit kills with the artillery. Instead of unit kills, we should aim for the enemy artillery first, like mortar into mortar, mortar into mortar. Once the enemy mortar dies, we have advantage to kill the units. So if we win the artillery fight, we win the unit fight as well, because like we have the advantage of artillery, and if they uh, get getting bombarded, we are winning the fight because they have to either pull back their units or they can push forward. If they push forward, they are gonna get trapped. So we are putting them in an uncomfortable situation. That will happen only if we had won the artillery fight. So yeah, this is the difficult way only, but this is the right way to do. Like I understand that we could have gone this way and pushed, but this is overall the basic and very front line, very simple and basic way. So let's go forward and let's see. Anyways, a lot of factors made us large. Now it's just not one single factor. It's not just planning. It's not just units. So many factors. After that push failed, we kind of try to suicide for the artillery. I think maybe we should have avoided it as well, because now if I think about it, we actually there is no point in pushing this artillery anymore. But unless we are going to make the same push from this direction, it's no reason for taking the artillery. But the time is going to end though. Some people, it's a complicated decision actually, because if you are a heavy armor class and you haven't died single time so far, not a bad idea to go and die once, because you still have two respawns. So and the time is about to end. So what is the point of like staying alive and going back? If you die and you respawn here again, so you're gonna make a push. So it's a failed push anyways. So that is what the plan is. But some people will be against it as well, like going for this artillery. And next, let's go next. Uh, okay, this is uh, this is the push which came from big end. I think this push is kind of, I would say, unnecessary. I would say, but at the end of the day, it's not a bad thing, because like the game is over, so I had to make the push at the finally. So nothing really bad in pushing up the last. And let's see how much time they bought for us. Okay, they are kind of pushing from the right side. It's a 5-man enemy push against a 3-man, right? Yeah, and they got sandwiched from both directions. Not 5-man, around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 people on 3 people. Surely gonna die. And at the same time, we made the engage over here. And let's see. They had set up already artillery. There's no way we can actually push this choke point. But we just made it because it's last push. Whatever, we just had to try something. So we just made it. This is like a suicide push for sure. There's put up a show, there's choke point, suicide push for sure. But we had to do it because we had to last. It's last. They tried to sally out and they couldn't. It's trippable still. And this was the last push. That's not a bad thing by anyways. We push from two directions and we push it down from both directions. Hmm. And yeah, I got wiped. I would say like the last, still at the Nafans alive. So whatever infantry we push in is gonna die. Blue Albadiers, monks, Madav bracing in the front for them, followed by Narfans and Imperial Pikes holding the line. So very well played. Okay, and people saying that vessels are a good idea. Yeah, they can be a good idea. But what if the enemy has artillery already? Then they cannot be used in the war, right? And like the one mortar shot equals all the vessels dead. So how are you gonna push in a vessel number when heavily armored troops are dying so fast from mortar? How are you gonna position vessel number movement against this kind of a bombardment? Is my question regarding vessel movement itself. Range units are not gonna stand a chance unless you make sure that all the artillery enemy at is taken care by our counter artillery. The chances of us taking down a uh, okay, putting an archer on the wall is almost not impossible. Like it's negligible. It's not possible unless you find really weird angle in which, but still mortar can hit the weird angle of what archer can shoot. So still archer is not a reliable option unless our players somehow manage to take all the artillery which is already set up in the defensive area. That's my opinion. And yeah, this was end of the game when we are attacking. So what let's it was a big long video, but I wanted to say key points what we did well and what we didn't do well, and just like expected one day. To be honest, it was expected from the start or result of the battle from the start. But we wanted to have it as a learning experience rather than an actual battle for our team. Is the reality of this game. So let's see what we learned from the enemy team. First and foremost, they did very excellently was their artillery positioning and placement and how to use them itself. Even if though we set up the artillery, so our artillery didn't hit as much they did like the way they use the projectiles to hit and bombard was really good. Like the artillery was here, the artillery was here before dying, but they didn't create a massive, you know, destruction because they instead of focusing the enemy artillery, we are focusing the units. So their artillery placement was really good. We need to improve our artillery placement. And in ranked, you tend to place this kind of artillery again and again to the point where you know how the projectile works, you know how the uh, placement works and blah everything. So now at least we learn the artillery placement. That is one thing. Certain things which cannot be taught, they can come only by playing again and again. So these are some kind of things I would say. And yeah, I think other than that we did well. The main reason why we lost, I would say, was staying in the wall in a scenario where we get bombarded again and again. So that was the main reason. And how we could have avoided, we could have maybe come by the beginning way, but same thing they could have done here as well. They could have set up artillery and bombarded. But at least we had the advantage to Tremto. That is one thing we could have done. But whatever. But still, there are some choke points which cannot be trapped. Like this area, still you can set up artillery and bombard this angle. You can set up artillery and bombard this angle. If they push this angle, it's very easy to counter them because you have the supply advantage and you can just take a unit and come back again. But if they push this angle, that is when you need to set up here and shoot this angle. And it comes to defense. Anyways, good game when attacking. Let's see the game for defending. Okay, let's see the second battle now. As you can see, it was a 14 versus 15 battle. We had 14 people, one person disconnected, so the numbers itself is lesser. So you already starting off with that start. And let's see the units. Level 14, she's. I mean, end of the day, we just pushed in players, 15 players, just to have a experience rather than an actual battle. So now let's go to the start of the battle. Okay, let's see what they do. As the attacker, they have 1, 2, 3, 4 people in the middle, and remaining 11 are gonna go to the right side. They still haven't started pushing the siege towers, as you can see. Why? Because I think they're manning the artillery. They're manning artillery. Look at the way they're manning artillery. They didn't care about the siege tower. Didn't care about the battery enough. They were very keen to destroy the enemy artillery. So the way we pushed and the way they pushed has a little bit of a difference. They kind of had a artillery setup. I mean, artillery. They use artillery to destroy enemy artillery. They were all manning the artillery. We didn't do the same thing. It's available already in the game, so it's pretty easy to use as well. They, look at the way how fast, how quickly they destroying our artillery. Okay, they destroy this artillery. They're aiming for this artillery. You can see the bomb is going for it. There's still like 4 or 5 people are just trying to destroy. Some are even trying to climb the ladder, trying to rescue it. We gave this supply for free. Of course, we are not defending it. That's the plan as well. And let's see. We didn't have a proper plan for defense, and we didn't even have a proper attack. But at least attack we had a plan. But defense we didn't have any plan. But our main objective is to defend supply and A. And people are saying that A is, especially collector said that A is the one to defend in this map. And I am against it because supply is very crucial to hold A. If you hold A, the problem with A is that if you're going to push A like this, it takes 60 seconds to capture a point, like as a hero, or like lesser if more heroes are there. But to capture supply, it takes what, 5 seconds maybe, 5 to 10 seconds maybe. It's very easy to capture a supply if you clear everything on the supply, and both are relatively, important. It's not like this is a balance, but you can actually run over the A point, and even if they capture half, you can still go and take a new unit and come back. You have a supply which is very nearby. So it's always better overall to defend the supply compared to defend A, because they will lose units. Imagine they are pushing with 15 people. Just a simple scenario. And we are pushing from the supply, defending with A with 10 people. The engagement starts, and people die at A. And what happens? Units die at A. People can just rotate back to supply, take a new unit, and come back to A. But what if they take the supply first? There's no reinforcement anymore. What we have is what we have stuck. A is doomed to lose regardless. So, and people who are still alive at A, who lost units, they can just run around the A point trying to hold, because he has 60 seconds of time for A to capture, a longer time compared to the supply. So it's relatively easier to hold the A point than supply. And a supply is more important than A point, is what my idea is. If anyone has any opinion, otherwise feel free to speak up. If you speak up only, we can, have our ideas. Anyways, let's see the game itself. Okay, so they pushed the supply, they took the supply. Let's see the formation, what the formation are having. They have shields. They have Momilons. They didn't bring anything else. They brought only Momilons. They didn't bring Imperial shields. Instead, they brought Momilons. And I mean, Imperial shields are overall better if you can protect them. But Momilons are good for aggressive playing. If you can charge at the right time. Okay, let's see the movement. You can see they, after taking supply, they come from behind. Look at the way they rotated. They wanted to avoid engagement, so they rotated all the way. Over here. One of the two players went in and destroyed the artillery, which can help them later on when they're pushing home point. Actually, when they're pushing home point, when they're pushing home point, we can use that artillery. So they destroyed it immediately. So now you see that this is the most crucial thing which we failed. This is the reason why we lost this defense. So you see the enemy rotating, and you should avoid engagement in a 15 versus 15 battle. you should never get caught. Like our main objective is where supply and the other than that, we don't really have to define anything in the that is objective, right? So people are getting got near home point. What is this positioning? It's a questionable positioning. Unless you are a dual blade and you know how to escape in a 15 man area, this positioning is bad for the poleaxe player. So it's not a good thing. Let's go for the next thing. They make a nice, I would say it's a big 15 man push. Heroes are coming forward and you see this push coming straight to the supply. You see it's way too open. Like if you see the mini map, it's way too open. That is why the ping was made to the supply, defense supply, defense supply, defense supply. And I was there and I did put my Imperial Shields in a line formation. Why did I put it in a line formation? Because I don't want the enemy to see what units we have, because they don't have vision over this area, or they can have vision over this area, but they don't have vision over this area. So because right now I wanted to hide the enemy vision. So that's why I put my units in line formation just to avoid, just to play. See, this line formation helps to cover what units are kind of hiding behind and like at least stop their advance. So I put my shield unit there and our team started rotating. This is a good rotation team. We kind of rotated. Let's see how people die. What is this positioning? Is a questionable positioning. Modern photo ratios, they're so alone. It's easy to pick off. Why are you playing way forward behind the shield line is question mark. But and also another objective is here. Objective is here and here. You should be either here or here, not here. Like it's basically suicide to go solo. Like easy to for if a 15 man enemy engage you, how are you going to expect to survive as a 2 player? Is a question mark. See, the first thing of cavalry charge is you should not engage a 15 man as a cavalry. Like, don't you think that they will see the cavalry charge coming and they will stop it like by any means? And there are so many anti-cavalry. Let's see how the cavalry charge is coming. I think it was from one person called Game. Yeah, he spawned here. He's all the way behind the enemy. Yeah, okay. Now once he spawned here, he's gonna charge with cavalry. What is this unit, by the way? This is Cataphract. I think it's Outriders. Yeah, it's Outriders. Outriders. Still, like, why? That is like 15 months. Like, what can we expect in a 15 man scenario? Even if it is a legendary cavalry, it's a 15 man unit, right? You wanna get stopped. Okay, let's see. Okay, nice. Someone set up a war rocket. That is very good. I think it was Hobo Place who set up a war rocket, which is good. See, you can this area can get trapped. This shield can get trapped, but before that line, you cannot get trapped. So you easily can set up this angle and shoot the area behind. But the way they used these buildings as a cover is a nice thing, because like they kind of faked this way and they kind of moved this way, so they can always move this way, and we might not know which angle they are going to push. Now look at their movement. Now look at the movement they do. They all kind of go to the middle, and this positioning suffered because like you don't need to hold this choke point. It's gonna die. And everyone rotated here so early for no reason. Like I guess it's because they are rotated faster, and they have the way to rotate faster as well, I suppose. Now let's see. Okay, they started pushing to the supply. The sub push is coming through both sides, I would say, but the majority of the players are coming for the supply only, and we don't have much to hold at the supply. And supply is nearby compared to X. Like they haven't engaged at X set, but look at the supply; it's already got engaged. Let's see how many players are pushing supply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and how many players are here? Very less. We don't have much players for supply. or the units. So it's like doomed to lose. The units which are here and Eros, I think look at the amount of people pushing A point. One, two, three. Three people. Three people just pushing A point. Four people are. Four people pushing A point. We don't need this many people to defend A point. It's another it's a rotation, right? If enemy sees an opportunity like this, they will take it. Easy for them. Easy for them to engage on a weaker side, kill the weaker side, and go and engage the stronger side later on. And look at them. These guys are not engaging. They are like way too careful. They are not engaging as well because they know that is the weaker side for them. They just keep their distance, and the stronger side engage on our weaker side, and we lose the supply very easily. Once this supply is lost, the game is over. In this moment itself, the game is over. Even important than A, the more important thing is supply only. This map. People always forget about the supply again and again and again. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but it's okay though. Eventually, I believe one day or the other day we will learn. And why we lost this supply? Because first, lot of factors, but crucial factors I would say is we kinda are getting more split up. What is the point of Collector and Carito being here as a 2-man player? Like the entire team is over here and here. Why are they defending alone? Don't you think defending alone will get you killed? Is the question. And the more spread out we are, the more chances that the enemy are gonna pick us out. End of the day, they still can win a 15 versus 15 fight, but at least in a 15 versus 15 fight, we can help each other out, right? And it can it will be easier to defend each other because it's a 15 versus 15 fight. But in a 2 versus 15 fight, you are gonna stand a no chance. Not just for Fighter and Fighter. Everyone who got soloed, like it's very easy. Like the amount of people, like the big push is killing our slow units one by one, and they are easily engaged. And they are the supply now. They can play very confidently. Like look, whatever units they lose, it's no problem at all. They can just wipe out and take new unit supply. Like keep pushing again and again and again. It's already a last game. Like this, the moment you lost supply, it's GG, bro. There's no way you can hold EA. Like even if you have the 10 units defending here, how are you gonna hold this? There's nowhere to go and get units, right? No point to nowhere you can go and get units. Like so you have 10 units. They bring even 6 or 7 units and try to engage you. You will kill the 6 or 7 units. You will take some casualties. And where are you going to take a new unit? You're going to push the supply with the less units? No. How are you going to do anything after losing supply? So supply is really crucial. People who are saying supply is not crucial, it's a wrong thing. It's a wrong thing. I would say it openly. If you guys want to speak up against this, please feel free and explain me how you are saying that A is important. And especially leaders, I will be open. Indrajit Bro and Collector are saying that A is important. In the past, Collector said in the voice chat, and Indrajit Bro said it in the message he put it. So I am totally against it. And I want to know what's your perspective on how you are gonna play this game when defense, when you are only focusing on A this much. Even if you had lost A, it's okay because when you lose A, what happens? It means that enemy committed more player on A. But we have the supply advantage. So we actually can reinforce faster and kill their units faster, which means we are going to have a troop advantage over the enemy. That's like thinking, need to think. This is why sometimes it's better to lose objective and have a unit advantage rather than to have a objective and have a lesser unit advantage. So this is a win-win situation. If you defend supply, it's a win-win situation. If you can defend A, it's a bonus. But defending A and losing supply is a lose-lose situation. Always. We need to remember this always. Even if we lost A, what can I do? Yeah, they can try to push home point, but we always have the advantage to flank them, to engage them. Yeah, but defending A is gonna be a pain. Anyways, End of the day, they are all experienced players, so we can only expect that much coordination. And how they got experience is playing ranked. People who are complaining that ranked is not where you cannot improve, that's totally wrong. Rank is where you can improve. I am totally wrong against it. If you want to improve in this game, rank is such a big thing because that is where people play competitive. In Siege Battle, people don't really play competitive. Anyways, I think I'm just taking it too much. Let's just focus on this game and let's just end it. And yeah, the battle is lost already. Home point push. We couldn't. Okay, here's the thing about home point push. Important thing. We cannot set up at home point. Setting at home point is suicidal. We can set up here. We can set up here. Setting it up at home point is kind of suicidal because you can get trapped again and again. So whatever unit you push in will get trapped again and again and again. So it's hard to set up at home point. You will set up here. Good point to set up. Like you can see there are times to set up for us, but we didn't set up because we didn't have the idea to set up. It's okay. Learning experience. Next time we do it. It's as simple as that. So see, this is where you need to set up because if you set up this choke point, they cannot push. It cannot be trapped as well. It takes a long time for them to come from this area, set up angle over here, and then push. Which means you can also set up artillery over here. So it's not like a home point is not undefendable. It can be defended, but we just played it wrong. Like we see here. Okay, so here you can see the enemy kind of made a push, but they didn't fully commit, and only two player came, and we kind of killed the units over here. I suppose in the hero. Okay, three player came, so we kind of killed the units. Now we have time to set up right now. Right now, instead of retreating, if all of us went and fight here, this spot you should have fought. This spot is where you should have fought. Now we have the advantage. They're falling back. You can see they're falling back. You should have pushed up, kept the advantage and pushed up here and fought here. There is one more thing. These kind of things we can only do when, like, people fight more and more. And what is the best place to fight? Ranked is the best place to fight. And people tend to lose morale as well because they are not used to fighting this much difficult battles. If you play ranked more, the chances of fighting more and more difficult battle will get increased, and you will lose more and more, which means you get that resistance skills. Like you won't feel bad about losing, but you will take it as a positive way to learn the game. But it won't make you very vulnerable emotionally because you understand that losing is part of the game, and you understand that uh, it's a learning curve. And of course, I am not the perfect person, of course, but I'm just saying my perspective. Of course, I do mistakes as well. Everyone does mistakes, but it's a learning curve for everyone. I understand that and just play it. That's it. Regarding this push, the way they push is very nice. Photo ratios and camels and lots. Nice. The amount of photo ratios is like really. Photo ratios and flamethrowers is what they are pretty much. Nice way to push. Nice and effective. Okay, just when I was making the video, I get to see a lot of comments regarding the yesterday's battle. So I thought I would add my suggestions and also my words regarding what everyone said. So Nazara said, "Let me told you why you lose. First, as always, said too much range unit. I think it's relatively. Let's see our composition and decide for one flamethrower, not a bad thing. One Senji, two Senji, three Senji, four Senji, and Is there any other range unit is there? I think we had 4 Senji. And what other range unit? A vessel bombardment. 5. 5 units of range. 4 Senji plus 1 vessel bombardment plus 1 flamethrower 6. Plus outriders, you can say it's relatively ranger as well. But let's avoid outriders. 6 range units. I think a little bit high when attacking. When defending, I would say 6 range units is sufficient. But when attacking, I think we need more infantry. 3 range units should be sufficient. And we didn't really need vessel bombardment. It's very hard to use unless we fit in a proper strategy for it. 3 Senji I think is maximum. Or even 2 Senji and 1 flamethrower is sufficient, I would say. Attacking, we don't really need that many Senji. That is one thing. I agree with Nazara. Like, not by a big mile though, like just a little bit of a difference. Instead of 4, 2. And let's see what can we do next. Second, this tactic are really old, so nothing new with me. You guys just start the target the supply as normal player, and trust me, even Yesfedo can do that. I play with EF. What is EF? I don't know. Some house in JC probably. So what this guy is saying that we didn't target the supply when attacking. That's true. We didn't target the supply. It was a very basic plan we had to make, because from the last time, our experience, what we faced is that we couldn't get the idea of the plan properly into our players' mind. And even if they get the idea, they couldn't execute it properly. So we need to make the plan as simple as possible. And this was a try to do that. And we did make a very simple plan, which is like less complicated, but it's very easy to counter as well because it's less complicated. Complicated plan means the player is going to have difficult time executing it. So that is why we made the plan as simple, but which also has a big drawback, which is the enemy can counter it since it's a simple plan. So end of the day, we have to try our different ideas. Na? Like we cannot stick with only one thing. So last time we made a complicated plan, and because of the complexity of the plan, people tend to have difficulty in execution against majestic fight. So that is why we kind of had to make a easier and a simple plan, but easy to counter that kind of a plan. And regarding the range units itself, I would say Senji was not used effectively. Some players use it effectively, I say. I would say at the start, it was pretty easy to use because we had a lot of front line to support the Senji, so not a bad thing to use by any means. Good effective use of Senji. But somewhere else we could have used effectively, especially at the walls. You saw the photo brushes over here. You could have bombed the Senjis, photo brushes of Senjis. Effective usage of Senji bomb. And but we are mostly using for Narfan only. Still, you could have bombed the Narfan. Like when we are making the actual push down, we could have actually not bombed this area from this angle. Senji can throw bomb in a curve area. Na? Imagine this area with the Narfan getting bombed by Senji. That the Senji player didn't use it effectively. Or I don't see anyone bombing the Senji Narfan with the Senji. But we can't blame too much though, because we don't really had a big plan. But another day, it will come by practice only. Like more and more we play, we will get the practice. But I can get the idea, right? When the Narfan was there, we could have countered the Narfan easily with the Senji bomb or that. Imagine Senji bomb landing on a big cluster of unit when we are engaging like this. I think we engaged somewhere around here maybe. Yeah, this was a place where we actually engaged. So we had to make a push. We know this push is gonna fail. Okay. You guys see this engagement, right? We are getting flamed by Narfans very hard. If the Senji had bombed this Narfan from above, like this, imagine the Narfan die, not just the Narfan, the photo brushes would have got, for, I mean, if they're low, they would have died. If they're like full person, they would have got at least 20 to 30% health. So this would have actually made our push very very easy. If our not very easy, I would say. Of course, we still had a lot of things firing. At least it have kind of neutralized the Narfans minimalistically. The Senji bomb would have made a big difference over this area, but no one really used. That is what I'm saying. Some things we cannot say everything A to Z, like we do this and do that. Some things it will come only by experience and practice and repeated playing. That those things will take time. Things which are really worth getting take time. So that is one thing. That we can next time when we see this kind of a blob entering, we should have Senji player to throw the bomb. That's a learning experience. Next time we can do that. Regarding Nesara's range unit, even though we had 4 range units, no one really used the range unit when the actual fight was made low. Let's see about third, you fail after you capture the supply and leaving the ground and get on ball for no reason. Yeah, this I agree. This I agree because we actually captured the flag without a problem. It was easy push, but we actually fall back because we were too focused on the plan. Like we could have actually pushed this way, but we decided that we go follow the plan at the start. No one said anything against it, so we just followed the plan. It's as simple as that. Because when we make a plan, we have to be strategizing what we are going to do. We should not even even if we are going to push like that, we should be mentioning that in the plan before itself. And why we are going to push like that, that is also should be mentioned in the plan before itself. If nothing goes mentioned in the plan, there is no point of following something which is not in the plan. So that is another thing why we didn't push this way. Like small things can be understood, but making a big push through this way needs to be really mentioned in a plan. Like when what way are going to push. We made the plan to push this way, so it was a suggested way, and that's how we went. Third, you failed, and why we avoided this plan is mainly because it is going to be very little bit complex compared to this way. Because if we are going to go through this way, you could have actually we could have gone 15 man. It would have been less complex, but no one thought about it to go 15 man. But still, even going from behind has its own weaknesses as well. It's not like bulletproof or something like that. Like when we go from behind, the enemy can set up, the people who set up over here to bombard here, they can do the same thing from this angle to this angle. Like from this angle to this angle, they can bombard. Same from this angle to this angle, they can bombard. But it puts us relatively closer to the supply though. Like when we push from behind, it puts us relatively closer to the supply though. That is one advantage we have from pushing from behind, which we can actually utilize it next time if everyone agrees with it. And people need to be vocal about the planning itself. Like when we make a plan, no one is saying anything, then the people who are making a plan is considered to be right, and we just got to follow the plan, right? So that is another thing. And this is what the Korean guy question about. Yeah, that's understandable. I'm not talking about location of artillery because it is a bit too far for you now. Yeah, it is understandable. We don't really exactly know where the artillery push needs to be done. That is true. They fight really smooth because they believe in the teammates, so don't need to watch their back and cooperate fight. Yes, that is also true. One thing is when you fight, what to say? When you fight, when you know that we are gonna fight, like you have played along so many games in the past and played as a team so many times, it is so natural that they will have coordination and teamwork. But we kind of came together this season only, and this is our first CBL, so we cannot expect much when it comes to coordination. Especially in a lot of terms, people We did push some coordinated pushes, but certain things we got split up. So it takes a time to once to coordinate, I would say. When I push or I combat, mostly team in SG was like, let me do and die alone in front of them. Uh, yeah, understandable, understandable. You need to say at least three team in a match and fight together, or not. Let's yeah, I understand. We need to make three teams: ball team, gate team, and uh, supply team. But if we make the plan complex, people are not gonna able to follow. That is a real problem for us. We lack execution really hard. After they die with your real team, then you regroup with the new squad. Yeah, it's understandable. This doesn't need to be party. Even in party, they don't really support in me combat. Yeah, yeah, it's understandable. So in combat, wait for at least three players, and then push with all your and die or legal. At least you don't need a big group. Just always wait for team three. The basic group to fight. A big group, but they won't come in fight. When you fighting slow react and less effective than a multi group. Three support you when you ever you fight much better. This is already a really old and still be used in every match in many hours. So basically, what I'm saying is that we need to split our groups. We tried that before, but the main problem is with coordination and execution. When you split up too much, execution falls off by a mile, like really mile, because people need to react instantaneously to what is happening, and small groups tend to fall apart when like instantaneous reaction is way too difficult. You just make a big goal and push together is what at the moment feels very too easy because people need to improve their personal experience and skill by a lot. That is the problem. Not all of us, of course, but some of us. Because it's a team with kind of, like all colors are the same color, like different type of people in terms of experience. I don't entirely agree to what you say. Yeah, yeah, okay. We don't have four range in it. We don't have many for. We have four Senji. Okay. As per the plan, we need to have at least two or three Senji. Yeah, that is right. It's easy to count in advance. Yeah, this is true. Senji is not a very bad by any means. Just the player who uses a Senji, at the right time, if we use a Senji bomb, that's very effective. That's it. Watch attack video time 3:30. If it is not for the cat Senji bomb initiation, we have to fight hard. Okay. I think you are speaking about the Senji, this one, I suppose, where we pushed at the start. This bomb. I mean, yeah, it really helped, but I think without the Senji bomb also it died. It's a 10 versus 10, so it really helped though. I don't want to say it's a 10 versus 5, 10 versus 5, 11 versus 5 actually, 11 versus 5. So yeah, entitled to win it. And flamethrowers, yeah, flamethrowers are really good against the infantry blob. Big 15 versus 15 engagement, or like even at a big engagement, flamethrowers can really make a big difference. That I have to agree totally. And one unit of longbowmen are good counter to any shield, camel, and forties. Yes, I agree. But positioning the longbowman is a problem. If you are really good at positioning longbowman and show it to us, please show it. Like how last game contrast bro did bring his longbowman, but where did he get to use it? There was no point to use it in the battle. So I don't see a way how you use longbowman. Unless please show me how to use longbowman. Maybe I don't know how to use longbowman. Please guide me. Is what I'm asking. And if it was not for flamethrowers, according to me, we didn't do any mistake here. Now we did the fact that they had 3 runs from over, which is win easily cornered. They had one Falco. Wow, I didn't see that. Okay, that one Falco. Okay. But where did they use it though? In the different setup, I didn't really see it being used though. Maybe they have it for the home point, which they didn't really get to use later on. Okay. Main cause is this. Third, you fail after you capture the supply and leaving the ground and get on the wall for no reason. Yeah, this is one of the worst plan here. As soon as we need to execute a plan, like I mentioned earlier, we lose after the first attempts. I would say it depends upon the skill level as well. The plan, it can be the same plan, and if it was given to some player who can execute it better, they would have done it better. But we had to go with the easy plan because we need to make the skill things easy for people to understand. Making a three group and pushing from three directions, it can be way too stressful for people to learn and execute it. So that is why. What I mean by that is we made a very simple plan at the start, right? What are the units we are gonna bring and everything. Do you think we bought the right units? I don't think so. Some units kind of messed up. Instead of three Mamilons, look at how many Mamilons we bought. Only one Mamilon was bought. And Mado was good. Flamethrower was good. But you can see, I think we had something a little bit of a mistake. Since this was the first one engagement, we all can bring the right unit. But I believe if we kinda had to make this plan for the entire game, the unit setup is going to be a really big problem because in engagement we lose units, and when we lose units, we are not going to have a right setup. Na? Like everyone is going to make a different unit, and the setup is going to break. So that is a big problem, the setup itself. And regarding the wall push-up, as already mentioned, it is a very old method. Like it's not like a bad method. It's a very old method. Everyone knows this method, and it's very easy to counter if you know how to counter this method. So it's just that people already know this method, so it was very easy to counter. That is one thing, but it's a first step for us to take. At least people let us do the old method. Why should we do a complex method when we have a simple and old method? Is what my opinion is. Yeah, we might lose, but what is the point of not trying the old method? At least we know that this is a old method and we try it. Is what I'm trying to say. And it doesn't mean that it is not a bad plan. If we are set up our artillery before the enemy artillery, and if we are skilled enough to take the enemy artillery before they were able to take our artillery, then we actually have the advantage as an attacker. But we couldn't do that because our players, including myself, don't know how to properly use artillery to take out enemy artillery. So that is one thing. They are way too skilled by using this artillery again and again to the point where they were capable of destroying our artillery faster, is what I would say. This could have worked if these conditions were met, which is our artillery killing the artillery faster. And when we capture the supply, that is at the right, we were at the upper, and it was easy. Rather than taking them on the run, we changed it back and we climbed up the tower with all the. Yeah, this was a pre-made plan. No one said anything about the pre-made plan. I want people to communicate. At least now I'm happy that people are saying forward something like this. Why didn't this come before when we are talking? Is my question. Like now you see the problem, right? No one is speaking. At least in this bro comes with this suggestion now. The placement of 10 players artillery was incorrect, and by the time we climbed the right tower, they didn't even form it. And at A they were thinking where we will attack. If we are rushed down, we could have captured A easily. Yeah, that is true. That is true. If we had pushed A from the perspective, we might have actually captured A, or they didn't set up A at A actually. but we don't know that for sure, na. We didn't match. We didn't watch the map for sure properly. That they didn't set up at when you can see from the full player perspective, we can see that didn't set up properly with the units. They did have a little bit of a setup, but to be honest, they didn't commit units. It is understandable though, because how people usually play in around objective is that, let me explain you with the paint. I think it will be better. This I understand from rank only. So you see, this is an objective, and this is an objective. So, and we are gonna make a push with, let's say, 10 players. 10 players. If we tried rushing X, I mean A with 10 players or whatever. I think in our case it was 13 players, right? So let's put it 13 players. We're trying rushing. So which means we are pushing it with a lot of units together. So what if they set up artillery and bombard us when we are pushing itself? But they didn't set up artillery. So we had the advantage to push. That is understandable. But when we are pushing with a 13-man squad without any preparation or without any proper unit setup, it could have fall back and as well, because they can have the flank angles because we didn't properly set up. That is one more problem. So you can see we had the infantry, but if we pushed without covering our flank angles, and if we push without proper coverage, we are gonna lose the engagement, because they can't actually defend the supply with a repush. I mean, defend the A with the repush, and they can reinforce again and again with the units. So that is why we didn't push. We first set up artillery. If we had won the artillery war, we would have actually won the A point. But it is way too. It's a arguable thing actually. We could have pushed it. Could have won. We could have actually won. It's an arguable thing. When they had fames, Pike and Chevalier, there's no way a team can win by coming those. It's not a tank game where we place artillery, and we soak some time until they're done. Then we go after 30 minutes. They have had. It's not a tank game where we place artillery and we soak some artillery until they are done. Then we go after 30. What do you mean by this? Yeah, we can't push Fame, Spike and Chevaliers. There is no way to team can win by coming down the stairs. There is actually, we could have won by coming down the stairs if we controlled the area around the stairs. We didn't control the area around the stairs. That is why we lost. What I mean by that is, if we are going to push through the stairs, if we control this area, then I think we are going to push without a problem. But we don't need control. What I mean by control is, we didn't have the artillery setup to control the area, because they did have the better artillery setup and they did bombard our units, and our units got weakened to the point where we couldn't push enough, I would say. Like, it's always artillery versus artillery fight. What do you mean by not an artillery fight? If you are going to fight, before that we have to set up artillery. Otherwise, we can't push. We're going to get control of an area before we to push. It's a way to old styled and strategic way of pushing. Setting up artillery, pushing, bombarding with artillery, and then pushing. It's just that they had better artillery placement and better artillery experience, so they did win the artillery war. Coming through the stairs, imagine we don't give them the space to set up here. We got to give them the space to set up here. Imagine we put Senji bombs over and make their units weaker before we push. Imagine our mortars kept bombarding them. We lost all our artillery on their bombardment. Okay, wait. This is not that. So we lost all our artillery before the push, so we couldn't actually bombard much, and we lost the control before pushing. But we have to make the push because the time is going on. So it is a lose-lose scenario. I had to push because the time is running out. Yearly play 1 to 4 minutes. Most of the matches are decided here. Uh, I don't know why you mean by that. I'll ask you. You please explain afterwards. If both teams are equal in power and XP, the game is decided here. Late game, very clear cases, the game is there. In this time, mostly it will be who has more goal units, they will win. Mhm. I don't get your ideology behind it, but late game I understand though. Whoever has more units, yeah, they'll win. Early game, most of the matches are decided here is kind of a little bit of a confusing thing. Maybe it's because of the tempo advantage. Okay, should have done. We need more cav. Cav win you matches and turns the tide when we capture supply. Okay, cavalry. But problem is cavalry will easily get countered by anti-cavalry. Like the problem with the cavalry is that if you are playing against a team who knows to play fodder shows, 7 or 8 players playing fodder shows, you saw the game, right? The amount of players playing fodder show in the enemy team was crazy. So there is no way we could have won against that many fodder shows. They had 7 or 8 fodder shows when attacking. So it's like impossible to charge cavalry into 7 or 8 fodder shows playing together. Two players with cav went to attack the other supply. It would have been a diversion. Yeah, I agree with that. It would have been diversion, but we didn't choose to because the plan we make uh, wanted to be simple plan rather than a complex plan. Two players with another cav went to scout would have made them full in mode 40s, and then we could have used our mock. Uh, Two players with another cav went to scout would have made them full in more 40s. And then would have used a monk and heavy armor to go and make advantage. Meanwhile, our players could have attacked the supply, which could have put them in a bad spot. What do you mean by that? Wait, two players with another cav went to scout would have made them full in more 40s, and then we could have used our monk and heavy armor to go in and make an advantage. Meanwhile, players could have attacked the supply, which could have put. Oh, you are saying that we just change cav to make them change to 40s. I mean, they were already playing 40s. That's the problem. They are already playing 40s and flamethrowers more and more. So it's not like they didn't play 40s. Even if we had go cav and they have 40s, they still have more 40s. So how are we gonna play all? I mean, end of the day, it's units that win the game. So they already have the 40s for the cav and also for the infantry. Monks are counted by the 40s, and heavy armor. Yeah, we can go in, but they have flamethrowers. Even monks are gonna get killed. Flamethrowers are the realistic problem when you're pushing, and artillery also. War rockets are. Always the enemy need to be in his toe. If we will not, we will lose. It's a mind game, not a chessboard to memorize all the steps and play accordingly. Yeah, it's a mind game. I understand. I agree totally. It's a mind game. We need to play the mind game. We can play the mind game only if we are experienced in the mind game than them. But we are less experienced in the mind game than us, which means we have to take a step back and play. Have to play a plan according to the plan and play to a kind of like a chessboard. Otherwise, let's okay. What if we are making this saying this? Is it possible for you to make a plan next game and see how it goes? Because we tried that before. We tried to make a push from multiple directions and it didn't work because the coordination was way too off and the execution was way too off. That is why we wanted to make sure that everyone is pushing together. If we make a split up push, it's not gonna be helpful. When we went to the walls again, we should have attacked from both the starts because of which they will know the units they are next to the walls are safe and sleeping. Yeah, that I would agree. We could have attacked from both directions, which means still we are splitting up, which will put us in a very vulnerable position in one way. Splitting up is a problem. When we climbed the wall, the shot callers should have taken the advantage by seeing the minimap that they had less units in A, which as soon as I climbed the wall, I saw it. Okay, you saw it. You could have said it as well. I mean, end of the day, short calling is not just the players who just uh, short call. If you see something very important which you can take advantage of, our team can advantage, you can speak it. Everyone can be a short caller, but you need to say the important things only, like unimportant things, and if we speak bad things like unnecessary things, the every word we speak needs to make a difference. So unimportant things, if it's clumping our every other mind, then it's a bad thing. You see something good, you could have told, I suppose. We can plan all the time. There is always an exception case that will happen based on experience. We need to short call. Yeah. Short calls need to be reactive and aggressive. We had a plan, but we should have to decide it based on the game development. If we still need to proceed, whether or not best suits for that moment. This is totally missing enemy. House played. Okay, okay. I don't think our short calling is missing in every game. I think some games we do well short calling, especially when we're playing against people who are equal grounds or lesser than that. Yeah, we are doing well. It's just that we are getting outskilled and out united when it comes to skilled players. Short calling is relatively good. The people are need to follow the short calling as well. That is one more problem. Sometimes it can be wrong. I'm not saying all the time short calling is right, but it can get wrong. But end of the day, people also have to say the right thing, like do the right thing. People are not rotating to the short calls. That's another big problem. We need to grow this set of thinking or play style to be different competitive. Which if you feel martial is that tag that gets you, I don't agree with it. Yeah, I agree that this type of thinking or play style is needed. Marshall alone won't get it. That is, I agree. But Marshall will make it way too easier to get it. Like if you become a Marshall, it's way too easier to become coordinated. Because getting to Marshall itself will teach you how to become coordinated. Because Marshall is not just like anyone can get it. You if you want to get Marshall, you need to play coordinated with a team. Otherwise, you cannot get Marshall. It's as simple as that. Anyone who has become a Marshall knows this. If you are a Marshall, you will know this as well. That's what I'm saying. We played against newbies with Marshall account and we performed like this now. Where is the definition of Marshall there? So I guess this even these new players are very experienced, I suppose. So I don't know whether they were actually newbies or not newbies. So even the new players in JC servers are way too experienced, I suppose, is what that means. We need to have players to sneak and do good damage. We don't have dual blade, pike, and spear to do what they have to do. They provide flexibility for the team, which has gone also all heavy. Who will do the damage? Yes, very good point. Why was this point not brought up before? Is the question mark. Why was this point not brought up before? When we are planning, I wanted to make this do this thing heavy armor. I did. Why did no one speak about it? Did anyone say that why we shouldn't go light armor or medium armor? No. Does that mean everyone 15 player are like cannot agree or cannot speak or something like that? Where is your why was no one vocal about it? It's a question. Who will sneak? Who will scout? Exactly. Very good question. Very good question. And now the enemy will know that we don't do this, so they will concentrate only on one play. Yeah, it's very linear. I agree. The plan which we made is very linear and easy to counter. We have to do that because our execution is way too not good. That's the main problem. Execution is a thing which
comes only after playing lot of games. If we play simple execution things, I think we can play complex execution. But if it's simple execution itself, we fail. How are we gonna execute complex execution, which is like going behind, etc., etc. Because of which we only have to shout like what we did yesterday, which is out of range that we lost. That defines the pain. See, pain is everywhere, brother. There is no there is no improvement without a pain. So if you shout, it means that you cannot take the pain and you are like expressing it out. It doesn't mean that people who doesn't shout that they are not undergoing pain. It's just that they understand that pain is everywhere and they accept it. If you accept it, you will move forward. If you don't accept it, you will just, you know, speak up more and you won't move forward. So you need to have the mentality of accepting pain. Pain is needed for moving forward. It's not based on getting rank 1 and rank match. It's all about how you react to situations as a player. We need to react to situation. We need to work like RAM, not like a room. Yes, I agree. So it's not. If you are a rank 1 player, it means that you will be automatically a roam. You cannot be a RAM if you are a rank 1 player. That's what I'm saying. So you don't have to speak about a rank about because automatically if you are a rank 1 player, you will automatically become a roam. It's how rank 1 works.
Because you see people who are playing ranked, they are especially the higher ranked people, they are gonna develop the skills automatically because they are gonna face this kind of defeats again and again to the point they are gonna learn the skills automatically. But the people who are uh, not playing ranked, this kind of skills they will learn, but it will take long time to learn. You should not kill by overthinking. You just process with all the information you have right now and play at the moment, which I am sorry we never ever do it. I mean, we do it sometimes. It's not like never ever. Why you have to be way too negative? Come on, isn't it like in our entire CBST we have never won a match, and don't you feel like we won where we actually played well and did? Sometimes things happen bad because sometimes not, like this is expected only before you even started the game itself. It's expected only how it's gonna go. We're gonna lose, everyone knows that, but it's for the experience, for the people how we are gonna fight against it. So we did try to fight at the moment. It's just that our rotations are very slow because we are not used to rotating fast, because we are not used to thinking fast, because we are not in a situation where we need to think fast, because we are not putting ourselves in a situation where we need to think fast. That is the problem what we have, and that is my comment towards this line. Sorry we didn't only once against Gladiator where we captured the forces. See, when we captured the force, we just kept moving forward, and it is territory war. One people die, and it takes a while for them to respawn, and they cannot join the battle in another 2 minutes. So it's understandable, and they didn't have enough numbers. So we just kept pushing the fort. It was 15 versus 7 or 8. We just kept the pressure up. It's a easy push, not a problem at all. So we shouldn't compare that to CBL. CBL is something else. If we play like this, we will only be as we are till we quit the game. I mean, why are we gonna play like this? The purpose of this is to improve, not to stay here. Okay, we are playing against stronger teams to improve ourselves, not to stay here where we are. It's always the purpose is to improve rather than to don't speak when there are short callers. That was the dumb rules. People were speaking when short callers were speaking. If everyone complained that a short caller was the one missed, why did the other 13 do as a player? Anyone could have informed the short caller that we at A, we need to dive in. Why didn't we do it? The plan was made incorrectly and we obeyed the planner. Why the others agree? Why didn't the others speak? Very, very good question. That is what I was also saying previously. We are a team, we play as one, we react as one. We're definitely not doing this. Is the first thing we need to have to play. Okay, so here's the thing. To develop coordination, the first thing we need is having many games played together as a team, right? And how are we gonna do that? At least people need to come to Siege Battle voice channel and play along with the Siege. I pretty much go to come online and play Siege Battle along with the people every day. I only hardly see 5 people coming online to voice chat and play Siege Battle. That is how we develop coordination. You guys are afraid to come to voice chat. I don't know. I don't know. I don't say afraid. It's another day you might have your own timings and work schedule. But see, you are playing in the game. You can get online, but people are not coming to the voice chat. Like you play the game for 8 hours or 7 hours. I see people online, but people are, I won't say afraid. Maybe they are having some other reason. Maybe I don't know what is the exact reason. If they are not willing to spend time with others, willing to spend coordinate with others, willing to do anything together as a team, how are we gonna improve? Like all of a sudden in one single battle, like all sudden CBL. No, it's not gonna happen. Improvement takes time. Anything which deserves, you know, praise takes time. You cannot do something in a single day. So it cannot be forced as well. You have to take it as your collective responsibility, and people should join and play. And the end of the day should be, if it forced, it becomes like something else. It becomes a ritual. So if you they play the game for fun, and if you want to be competitive, we need to play more together, and that's how we develop coordination. Is what I would say. And people, yeah, and one thing I agree is that people need to be really vocal, because not many people speak up, and I think they don't speak up because they don't know much. That is also understandable. But if you are feeling like you don't know
Hello,
much,
Hades.
hello, Lich, can we speak later on? I'm recording a
Uh,
video.
oh. Okay, sorry.
No problem. They are not in this map. A point is the most important time killer to win. Oh, wait, I left this something. We have to play our for our win. It's not one person win. It's our win. One person cannot carry the end game. It's four of them. Not is that to execute. We can't. Execution, surely. I agree. We need to execute as a team. So, case study for defending the map. A is the most important point in the map. Then comes the lift supply. No, I totally disagree. I already disagreed when I explained my video itself. I already saw this, so that's why. So A is not a good spot to defend. I mean, still can defend, but you should not defend it much. You should defend the supply more than the A. If supply is lost, A is automatically lost. If supply is there, A is there. So supply is higher priority. If you're gonna split up, you should give more priority to A. I mean, supply all the time. If you're gonna split up, send 5 people to A, 10 people at supply. It's better rather than having 10 people at A and 5 people at supply. If A is captured and if you're defending supply, they add players to quickly counter and go to base. Did you guys realize that? Yeah, that is true. That is where these 5 people or 4 people who can like stay on the A and make sure that they don't capture the A. Like it's all about buying time, right? We always have the ability to rotate from supply to A when needed. But once the supply is captured, we cannot rotate because A takes long time to capture. It cannot get captured fast enough. It is a major objective. So you can always, even if the A gets 99% captured and one small speck remains, it's still not captured. So we can actually protect it if we set up it properly. But if you don't set up a supply properly, the supply will get captured instantaneously because it takes only 5 to 6 seconds to capture a supply. It takes minimum 30 seconds to capture a A. So there is a big difference between the supply and A. So that is why supply is very important. If A is imagine if A is getting attacked with 10 players and supply is getting attacked by 5 players, and you have the defense of supply with 10 players and the attack of defense of A with 5 players. what will happen? The 5 players in A will eventually die. The A will start getting captured slowly. Same thing happens the supply, but supply will win because we have the supply and we have 10 players in the supply, so we will defend. So we can get new units at the supply and we can go reinforce the A before the A gets captured fully. But if the say opposite happens, imagine if 10 players are at A and if supply gets captured first, then there is no point we can defend A anymore because there is no way we can reinforce anymore. There is no reinforcement at all. We just basically lost all our reinforcement. A is equals supply equals infinite reinforcement. A equals no reinforcements. So we are confined to lose. They can easily push again and again, and it's easy to capture A. Supply clan equals A clan. There is no way to reinforce, especially when they have all the targets around the A itself. In this map, A point is the most important time killer to win. If we lose it without a fight, we lose the entire game. Yeah, we shouldn't lose it without a fight. I'm not saying we should not have any units at A. We should have units at A, but it should not be more than the supply is what I'm saying. It should be supply should have the more units in any point of the time. Supply had important points in the map that can be used for holding, which we didn't do. Yeah, that is very true. I actually put my units in a very good choke point near the supply. So when we defended, it's just that people were too spread out and didn't rotate fast enough to defend the supply. It's very simple. Even one player, the choke point where they were having where we kind of defended at the front, I wouldn't say it's a good area because it's in front of the supply, like we are all the way forward. Why do you have to defend that? You can just defend the supply nearby, like the choke point near the supply itself, and that was a bad thing. It comes coordination comes only when on practice. It doesn't come at a single time. That is one more thing. But supply is more crucial. I would say supply is more important than A is my argument. Supply had important points, as I also said. They had points to use cavalry which we didn't block. Okay, I didn't notice that. Let me see. Oh, we are attacking this game now. Okay, let me see this video. They hardly used any cavalry though. Did they use any cavalry? When okay, one Chevaliers, Lyos, Azars, Lyos, Dagarax. They all use meta cavalry, very meta cavalry. The Chevaliers not meta, but only one out of meta. Everything else is pretty much meta. So it makes sense why they actually made a easy cavalry flank. We had some cavalry, but it's not the same though. We had Lyos as well. Lyos. But didn't make the difference though. Oh, you mean to the defense? I'm not sure where we didn't defend against cavalry flanks, but let's see. Okay, now you see they actually made their main first push to the supply with infantry only. The only cavalry they had was camels. They didn't use any cavalry at the first push. But the moment when was the actual charge the cavalry was after they took the supply. After they took the supply, they changed cavalry and rushed A with cavalry. You see, because they wanted the speed from supply to A. And they can afford to use cavalry because they have the supply. Even if the cavalry dies, they can reinforce a new unit. They just charge Lyos into the A point and they can reinforce a unit. That is when they use cavalry. And it's not possible for us to protect the flank when we have less units overall compared to them. So that's why the flanks were not protected. It's like it's a game of numbers, right? So if we have less numbers than them, it's easy to get counted very easily. And cavalry is very opportunistic and very useful when the numbers are low. Like cavalry is like a easy to use against less number of units, I would say overall. And kind of in a chaotic situation like this where the heroes are kind of split out, at the time cavalry can easily win because we cannot counter. But when they made the first push, they didn't really bring cavalry. It is when the chaos started, when we kind of died one by one by one, one by one by one by one by one. That is when the cavalry came out. It's good at chaotic situations. Yes, I agree. But we couldn't set up in after we started losing. Na, like already we lost the game when the supplies gone. There is no point of speaking about the cavalry after the supplies gone. There is lots when I think of yesterday's game. I really get headache. Everyone will, I suppose. Yeah, it's understandable, bro. I didn't learn anything from this game because we explored that we knew better in Traded War. We because excuse. Okay, I learned a lot of things from this game. I learned actually so many things from the game. It's just that if you didn't learn, I am very surprised to be honest. I explained whatever I think I learned. I explained. If you didn't really learn, I am actually curious. How come? I mean, I think you didn't pay more attention maybe that what we didn't learn. First, the important thing is that we are not getting together. If we get together, only we can plan together. See, these people come together to play together. How are we gonna speak and communicate much if we are not getting together? That's the main problem. I cannot force everyone to do that. Na? That's the main problem. This really scares me as a player and as a person. Oh my god. If this happens, always it will put us in a creepy position that we are stagnant as a pond rather than flowing as a water. Me and Michael, it's better to be in a place where we learn and play when we progress as a person and a player. See, you get a point, right? Difficulty is what we make grow. If you couldn't learn from your difficulty, it means that you are not ready to learn from difficulties. Winning is easy for anyone. Losing is that. Learning from the losses is the most important thing, which will let you progress. This is where you can progress. If you want to just win against easy players, then I don't know how we are going to progress. We want to lose more. The more and more we lose, the more and more we get to learn. It's just that people, some of them will, get to like whenever we face a lose, there is two ways we can go. Either we take it as a loss and then we just stop there, and we just see what we did wrong and move above forward. It decides what you want to do. Another day it's on each individual decision. No one can stop what that person want to choose. I can agree, but with this flamethrower got flanked and I used moment to save fire. During attack, when we advanced frame throwers, we are not flanked and the mortar attack didn't fall. They were safe at the line 3 attack point. Only when I clicked on the top, they came, which I called clearly, and we killed the glaive. When I was traveling from the supply, I needed to change the unit before I climbed, which was traveling from the supply. I need to change the unit before I climb. Yeah, this is a small mistake. It is understandable. Like I should have actually reminded. I thought of reminding, but I didn't remind. What Katarina is saying is basically when we attacked and captured the supply, we went back to the wall, I suppose. So we could have changed our artillery. We could have changed our units, what we needed in the wall. And we could have used the unit from above, like whatever unit could have been better on the wall, we could have changed. But some people might have forgotten them, we could have gone somewhere and then they came back and take this new unit or something. It's understandable. Every one of us mistake. Without mistakes, we are not human beings. It's just that we have to understand that we made a mistake and try to avoid it next time. It's as simple as that. Is what the learning experience is. And I am very, very okay, I wouldn't say unhappy, but I should intelligent boost should take it as a learning experience than getting scared. I mean, if you want to improve anywhere, you should take everything as a learning experience. Life itself is a learning experience only. Okay, I am talking about a red half was about to die at a night or mark. Okay. In attack, we had no flank. I think it should have happened in defense. I attacked 3 to 10. We have no flanks. I think we should have happened in defense. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see. I mean, the people who decide to flank, it's not a bad idea to flank at the last, but they should have flanked either with good setup, and even if they're flanked, they got engaged, so it's understandable. I think that was not a bad flank by any means. It's just that we didn't coordinate ourselves better. Anyways, very bad by any means. I get what you mean. When you are pushed like this, we didn't have any flank from beginning. Is what you are meaning. Yeah, I understand what you mean. It was a linear push. We 100% would have lost this push. It's an expected loss, but we made the push still because we are out of time. Either we could have just fall back, taken units, and tried a different strategy, or just went with the flow and pushed it because there is no other time left. Like especially time, we made the push at I think at less than 3 minutes. I think around 3 minutes only we made the push. Okay, work on teamwork is needed. And by watching the video, I feel that you guys are confident and putting inside account. According to me, you shouldn't give the much space and confidence. At the end of the day, you get to explain by some time thing. You don't get bound by strategy. It look like you guys are defending a title war match. Yeah, I agree a little bit. I know I shouldn't speak when I didn't join the first. It's okay, bro. It's understandable. No worries. If you see 15 pushing on you, you can't fight a 5 versus 15. Exactly. This is what I am also saying. Like, you cannot fight a 5 versus 15. We get picked one by one. Why are we all playing solo? Or even 10 versus 15. Go all 15 versus 15, die together. They are at the end of the game by them. End of the game together. There or at the end the game for them at the same time. See, here the thing. If we fight a 15 versus 15, we lose. If we fight a split up fight, still we lose. We wanted this game to be a learning experience more so than anything else. It should be a learning experience. We didn't have enough players with the exact unit requirements. That's the problem. So how are we gonna make a proper 15 versus 15 when we fail in the first place? So that is main problem. It is a learning experience for everyone who just joined. Learn something is what. When they pushed you from behind, you guys were set up on hardline. They started falling back a bit. At that point, you should have been aggressive or could have taken advantage by killing their tails. Yeah, I agree with this. I totally agree with this. So when they pushed back from behind, we could have actually, you remember where they pushed from behind, we could actually kind of force them into a very bad spot. But we didn't take it aggressively. We take it slow. So that was one bad. We didn't take it aggressively. We didn't take the short call. I think it could have worked well, but we didn't take the short call though. Main issue, trust. Why? You all trust the fact to never trust your teammate. OMG, lol. I just said it as a joke, lol. You take it very serious. Character. I said never trust your teammate because you can. A lot of things can go wrong in a game. So if you always have trust in a teammate and you don't take care of yourself, you need to take care of 3 players as a player yourself. That only you can. If you put yourself in a difficult situation, only you can improve. If you always play think that you have a trust. I mean, you can still trust is a good thing. Trust itself is a good thing, but if you become overconfident that you are trusting and trusting your teammate and doing bad, that is a problem, because sometimes you need to make a difference by doing things yourselves. So trusting can be really a problem, because as I've already explained, you put in a difficult situation where you fight alone, then you will learn more things where you are being supported. So which makes you play harder situations. Like for example, you are gonna fight. You are a Lios unit. You are gonna fight a shield and a pike unit. If you are going along with the Imperial Pike will advance and you will charge the Lios, and you will you know easily kill the shield and pike easily. But imagine a scenario where you figure out a way how to kill the shield and pike without the help of the Imperial Pike. It means that it makes you think. It makes you actually think. Trust makes you don't think, like you totally blindly trust your friends to the point where people stop thinking. That is the problem. That is why I wanted to say that don't trust anyone like that. That is what I meant. Not like trust, like trusting everyone. Trust is a good thing. Without trust, we cannot move forward. Of course, I trust everyone. Trust is needed to play the game. Trust is needed in life as well. We need to trust people, then only we can. I would openly trust everyone. That is why I let everyone do their own thing. But if you trust, and it will make you weak in one way. Mainly is what I mean by that is you won't face situations if you trust too much. Like if you always have the help of everyone, the situations are gonna be easy. So to the point where you are not improving yourself. That's what I mean. I didn't mean don't trust anyone. No. Why ranked game will teach you everything? I'm not saying ranked game will teach you everything, but it will improve you by a lot of things. Is what I'm saying. It will improve. I'm not saying it's basically like saying I can go fishing, but I won't have the person who already know fishing to teach me how to fish. Like I will learn it everything, but the problem is if a person who knows if you have a guide to learn teach you fishing, you will learn it faster now. But without the guide itself, without the difficulty itself, how are you gonna start learning by yourselves? It will teach you a lot of things that I am 100% sure. If you start playing rank and if you manage to get martial, or even like trying to get martial itself will teach you a lot of things. How can you say comment about something unless you have tried it? People, this is the thing in my father used to say as well. If you're gonna, I used to not like certain foods, like some sweets I don't really like, especially that badshah I don't like, and because it is made of milk and I don't like milk sweet. And my father used to say, how do you know it tastes bad or good until you taste it? Like you have to taste it and see it, then only you know it's good or bad. Without tasting or trying itself, you basically say, no, I don't like it, I don't do it, I'm not interested in it. It's not about interest. Interest is understandable. If you want to be competitive, you are saying, I want to be competitive. You want to be competitive, then take a step to be competitive. Play ranked. Ranked itself, the word itself means competitive, right? Is what I'm saying. I didn't say you are forced to. If you're willing to be competitive, then take a step for it, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it teaches everything. Of course, nothing will teach everything. Learning is a complex process. You get to learn eventually. I am level 3500. I've been playing the game so much long time, but I wouldn't still say that I learned everything. It's a complex process. Same thing applies for everyone, and it also depends on how fast you can learn as well. Some people can learn things very fast and rapidly. Some people can't. Depends on how rapid you can learn as well. Wow, and then you made a decent point. Will players come? Will players join? What if they find it too complicating? What if they can't execute? What if? Exactly. We need to ask the what ifs, right? Because
before making anything happening, you need to question it. Without questioning, how are you gonna make something happen? Do, do you know why you failed here? Because less people questioned. Less people questioned. I asked a lot of what ifs. Everyone was like, "Oh, why are you asking what if, what if, what if?" Now the what if if everyone had asked, wouldn't have failed. Did anyone ask what if we have a new player in our team? What if we have a you know do we have the right units? And did anyone ask what if we should have gone behind? No one asked, right? Why no one asked is the question. What if is important? Questions are important. If no one asks questions, we're not going to improve. That is why what if is important. What will we do when players come? Yeah, it's a question, important question. We have to think about making a CBL. Will players join? If we make a CBL, will players join? Is a question. Without asking the question, how are we going to decide whether we're gonna make a CBL or not? Will players join? Yeah, it's the question. Questions are very important. Then only we get answers. If no one asks questions, we won't get answers. You are asking people to follow blindly. No one will follow if you don't ask questions, because questions are the key places where we can find answers. Yeah, what if they find it too complicating? Yes, I agree, because see, last time when we fought in the Linno Fortress, everyone got stressed out because of the plan we made, and it was way too complicated. That is why we made a simple plan. The problem is not the plan, whatever we play, even if you make a very worst plan, if you have good execution, you can still do that well. The problem I explained, as I explained, we did, yeah, plan could be a bad plan as well, but if you are still really good at execution, you can make it easier. But we have to make a easier plan for our players so that they don't find it difficult to execute. What if? I mean, grow up, lads. It's a matter of experience. Me personally, I have lost hope from this. Okay, you give up already. You said you won't give up. You give up already. I understand. No worries, brother. Entirely, I stood my ground and stayed away from making any plans yesterday. And now all are getting to a point of understanding. But what? We are a fun boss. Then why did we get into a fight with gladiators? Why CBL? What do you mean by I stood my ground and stayed away from making any plans yesterday? Why you stood away? Is my question. Why you stood away? Because you could speak. And now I think you are very emotionally affected. It's the realistic problem. If you want to actually think, think properly, you should not be very emotional. Emotional is a good thing, but too much emotion can actually spoil. There is a saying in, I don't want to offend you, but there is a house name in European server. It's called Mad Because Bad. Well, that's funny. So madness, you cannot be thinking straight when you're mad, right? We need to calm down and think. That's it. Now all you are finally getting to a point of understand. No one will follow a mad person. That is also one more thing. If you want to be a good leader, you should not be mad. Anger is not how we deal with a problem. You deal with a problem by thinking through it and speaking it effectively and communicating effectively. Shouting alone will not solve a problem, is what I'm saying. Emotions need to be controlled. Finally getting into a point of understanding, but wait, we are a fun house. Then why did we get into fights with gladiators? Okay, we have the video. What is the reason and everything? Why we started the fight with the gladiators? Why CBL? Regarding CBL itself, it's a question because it's experience for everyone. I asked the question whether we wanna interested. People voted they're interested, so we joined. It's end of the day, it's a decision, people's decision. It's not my decision to do what we want. People are interested to fight CBL. They wanted to see how CBL is, and I saw why not. We could try it. We could have accepted the ban too. It hurts me the most. Accepted the ban too. What do you mean What do you mean by the ban too? I don't understand. It means about seeing our players getting made fun of
It was blatantly embarrassing. I think this is your first time getting embarrassed. If you want to be the best, if you want to really do well, you should never have emotions. Trust me. If you think with your emotion, I mean, emotions is good and all, but having too much emotions is going to pull you down. Is a problem. Like you need to be less emotional. You need to think straight in a difficult situation that you can get only with a lot of resistance. You 10, 100 people will say something in front of you bad. If you listen to them, you cannot move forward. You have to, you know, don't hear the things what they are saying. Your solo player mentality needs to die. I'm not gonna commit constantly and hurt myself in the process. I'm sorry, but I'll join all our plannings after we have a common mindset. Once everyone is ready to commit, I will commit to. Then until I will stand by go and not my hurt myself. And I mean, it basically. I understand your idea though. I understand totally your point because you are trying to help everyone uh, to making plans and everything, but people are not so committed. I totally agree. Maybe we should actually not play CBL for now. Maybe we should play sometimes CBL, but I just wanted to give our players the experience rather than the based on their what to say, based on their willingness to do this. I didn't want, and the level of commitment it depends on each individual players. Everyone, if they're committed, it will be really great. But how am I supposed to force it? Like commitment is something which a person gets because of a reason what he has for that commitment. And this year we all are committed. We all, even though at difficult schedules, we came forward to do this. Contrast came at middle of the night. Some people had to share their account to play. Some people had to not go to work and some had to come. Some people had to come from home early. Some people had saw some other work. Everyone had commitment. We cannot say that they didn't commit, but the amount of commitment needed for CPL is even higher. Like we need to make plans together, not just like 4 or 5 people together. All the 15 people, yeah, I understand that have to think together. Like that's the problem. Only 4 or 5 people are thinking. 15 people are like remaining 10 people are like stop not speaking at all. Like nothing. They are not speaking, just listening. That's where the problem begins. And at least now people are speaking up. That's understandable, but I'm encouraging everyone to speak more, especially during the planning phase. Please be present in the planning at least 1 hour, not 1 hour, I mean, at least one day before the planning. Like you see, I don't want to force anyone to, be all present all the ways in the voice chat. It's impossible for everyone. But if you have the time to be in voice chat, please be in the voice chat. Then only we can speak. Then only we can share our ideas. Then only you will know what difficulties we have as a organizing team. We face lot of difficulty as an organizing team. Yesterday, when you were not there in the voice chat, myself and Gunagan was there for the entire day. You know what are the problems we faced? Falcon, Falcon had an internet issue. His game couldn't connect anymore. So there was 14 versus 14 players only available. So we had to pull one more player. Where can we pull the one more player? We had to ask someone else to play in someone else's account, which means I had to, speak to both sides and make sure that both sides are okay with sharing account and like making sure that both are happy with it, etc., etc. All kind of problems exist. So it's not just like we are trying to organize and we are like not very very taking it easy or something. Organizing things is a time consuming process, and if not everyone is supporting that, it's going to be very hard on you, is what I'm saying. And it's your choice. If you don't want to commit, it's your choice. No worries regarding that. You can commit whenever you feel like committing, or if you want to quit right now, you can quit. But for me, I won't. Until then, I'll stand my ground and not hurt myself anymore. I won't give up though. I'll be always there, here by your side whenever everyone needs me, but I'm not going to commit anymore. Okay, you don't want to commit anymore. I mean, okay, it's a test. I mean, it's a test. From the beginning, we are telling not to overthink for many seasons back. We need a plan, but not too into it. Basically, need a base plan and roles aside. Yeah, we had a plan yesterday. Just need to follow up based on the instructions. Need to be flexible and adapt to changes. Karen and myself, we always say we need to react based on the situation. Yeah, we need to react based on the situation. That you can react well if you only have the knowledge to react well. Now that's the problem. Some of us have the knowledge to react well, and some of even if you have the knowledge to react well, the timing also is important. For example, you are or someone is coming from work, and or someone is I don't know doing having a hard day and just coming to play just for the CBL. How are they going to react very well, especially after a difficult time? We cannot expect everyone to do everything expect. So it's just this one thing, and the reaction itself comes only with the experience and knowledge. So we cannot expect everyone to do the thing. It takes time. This is the first game. I don't know why you guys are putting a. Especially, it's at least though it's understandable. Character, I believe we should reduce our anger issues for sure. It's not a good thing for your mind as well as for the society. Like when you're speaking with others, being angry is gonna get a negative emotion in everyone who are speaking with. So it's not a good way to speak. Please try to reduce your anger issues. But all is well, bad things happen for a reason. Just need to make sure that the same doesn't happen. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a learning experience. See, and that's bro. If you can see, you were present in the WhatsApp 1 hour before the planning. What if you are there helping us a little bit before? You come to play the game every now and then, but you never help us in the WhatsApp whatsoever. We were the only people. Myself and Ronagan were the only people who were doing the planning yesterday. How do you expect us to manage everything? We didn't have enough time to manage everything. Is the realistic truth. If you feel like we are not doing enough or we are not capable enough, I think we can stop playing this as well. And if we are putting ourselves in a bad spot, I think we will stop this as well. I am trying my best, and I don't know whether I think I might be doing surely something wrong, of course. But for me, I tried my best. That's what I would say. With the time I got. If you have any suggestions from my side in what I can do better, please say it. Thank you. I try to ask opinion from everyone to speak up, but only people who can give opinion can we can follow. Now only people are like saying after the battle is ended. Where was the opinions before the battle itself? Why is no one speaking? Question. Anyways, I think that's it. Thank you.